Hello, welcome to Ixalan for a competitive draft league online. We've got two white cards in this pack that stand out, the Duskborn Sky Marcher and Territorial Hammerskull, and a River Sneak, which is kind of the best card if we're in Merfolk specifically, but I'm going to go with the Territorial Hammerskull here because it goes into multiple decks and is quite powerful. Fine in Vampires, great in any red-white build or white-green. So a lot more decks than just the simple green-blue Merfolk, which is quite powerful, but a little harder to get your hands on. So, second pick. Fathom Fleet Firebrand could be fine in a white-red deck there. Lightning Rig Crew probably better than that. Shining Aerosaur is fine, but they're 5-drops. They come a little later. And Tishana's Wayfinder. I'm going to go with this Lightning Rig Crew. It is awkward with our first pick, but has the highest upside, and we're not so committed to anything now. We want to find what's open and make the most powerful deck that we can here. With that in mind, staying open, we've got Pirate's Cutlass. And Skymarch Bloodletter would be a fine follow-up to a Hammerskull, but I think it's a Pirate's Cutlass here. And then we could go into a red whatever Pirates deck, or, you know, a Vampire deck. It's still good. So I'm going to go with this Pirate's Cutlass over, I think Bloodletter is the next best thing here. Uncommon and rare are missing. If something wheels in this pack, we could get back a Sunrise Seeker or Dual Shot or something. Alright, it looks as if Merfolk is kind of open. We've got Shaper Apprentice and Deeproot Champion, both fine in that deck. Probably I'd rather start with a Shaper Apprentice because it is a creature heavy deck, but you know, Deeproot Warrior, or Deeproot Champion rather, becomes a 3/3 fairly easily, and that's good rate. Hatsuken Archer's fine, huh? And then Skyblade of the Legion is not too exciting. Why don't we take this Deeproot Champion? I feel like the size is right and it could fit into any of these color combinations we have started here. Wily Goblin, if it's going to be a 2-drop red creature, it's going to be the Fathom Fleet Firebrand. We've been seeing a lot of this red stuff getting passed. It may be a sign, and especially with our Cutlass here, it could definitely pull us in that direction. So I'm going to go with the Firebrand here with our Pirate's Cutlass in mind. Alright, what now? Mostly blue cards. The white cards are not exciting this early. 6th pick, I don't know how early that is, but they're not exciting in general. And we've got some pirates. Siren's Lookout. I guess it's just one pirate. But that might be it here. Blue-red pirates with a Cutlass, where green's being cut. Merfolk not hugely supported. Black is kind of cut. Yeah, we'll go with this, the Lookout here. Not going to be too sad about that. Run aground. We're being run around in this draft. Every direction possible. We've got some dinosaurs here, some vampires, Legion Conquistador. It's really between the Nest Robber and the Paladin. I guess Run Aground has some upside. Boy, that's tough. I'm going to go with the Paladin here, just as it fits into your white-red deck. I think it's pretty fine. Pretty fine card all around here. That's a fairly late Duskborn Sky Marcher. It wears a Cutlass well. It helps pump whatever vampires you have lying around. And there's nothing saying we can't be vampires. So of all these cards, I think I like Sky Marcher the best. And if they don't have any flying blockers, reach blockers, then it's just as good as the Skyblade a lot of the time. Wow, and the Duskborn Sky Marcher wheels out of that first pack. That was one of the two, or one of the few cards I was looking at as an early pick, so that'll fit nicely into our deck here, or so we hope. Emergent Growth, a nice push, especially if you have flying creatures. That's like a, 6 damage spell, 5 or 6 damage, depending on how you look at it. But I think we just go with Slash here. Sunrise Seeker comes back. Dual Shot comes back, a couple of the ones we might have expected. Yeah, I guess it's a Seeker. Tocatli Honor Guard, if opponents have pretty good enter the battlefield effects, as some of our creatures do, then it helps cancel those. Raider's Wake, higher upside than the Ceratops here, and more likely that we end up in black-white than white-green at this point. Okay, speaking of black-white, Fathom Fleet Captain. There aren't so many white pirates, but that should be okay. Or we could just take another Pirate's Cutlass. Wow. Yeah, it's too bad since both cards work synergistically with pirates, but we don't have that many pirates here. Captain, I mean, I guess there's still a chance we go into a black-red, but we only have, we just have too few cards for that. I'll go with the Fathom Fleet Captain. Shadowed Caravel, an Explore payoff. Not one that I'm too interested in. Deathless Ancient. As a powerful spell we could use in more of a vampire deck. I think that's worth taking here. The other payoff cards are like a couple white cards that have flying a lot of the time, and Dinosaur Stampede, and I guess Tishana's Wayfinder, Deadeye Tormentor, but I'll go with the vampire card. Looks like we could get our hands on a deck that's in that direction. Although here, the best card looks like Fathom Fleet Firebrand for us. Back on the red side of things, since there's no vampire card here. Nice little dinosaur guy, but yeah, I'll go with the Firebrand. As unexciting as that might be. Swashbuckling. Take a look at our curve once again if we discount black for the moment. The Schooner. Starting to regret that Fathom Fleet Captain pick, because it would have been nice to have another Cutlass. Yeah, it could be Swashbuckling. Get your turn to 3 damage in. It could be probably not Skullduggery, or it could be this Unfriendly Fire. Especially with some life whittling in Lightning Crew, we can make use of a damage spell there. The most aggressive, Tillanolli's Skin Shifter. It doesn't copy much here. It works best in a green-red dinosaur deck that has some real powerful creatures. You're looking at getting about 5 power into play with this before it really becomes worth it. I guess we go with the Fireshrine Keeper. Or even a Legion Conquistador as our first one of those. I'm not missing out on too many 1-drops. Yeah, you know what? We have 2 Duskborn Sky Marchers. If we pick up even as few as 2 Legion Conquistadors, we could make use of that as just another body. Pump it up with Pirate's Cutlass. Yeah, the more I think about it, the better Legion Conquistador looks. Another Firebrand. Now we pick Pirate's Cutlass over just about anything. That is great. We've got our half pirates, half vampire deck here, Slash of Talons, and makeshift munitions. I like cards like this in general. It hasn't been that great in this format unless you have some treasure generator or hijack or something. But vampires often make these little tokens that get an extra damage, and if you're attacking every turn and they have good blocks, you can just sacrifice those blocked creatures to force in some more damage. Oh wow. Dowsing Dagger. Is that sensible in a deck like this with 2 Sky Marchers? That's really our only flying. Or should we just take a good old Raptor Companion? Dowsing Dagger just hasn't been one I've been too impressed with, but it does, it gets the job done. Yeah, I'll go with the creature. And here, Dinosaur Stampede. We go wide, we play creatures early. It's good on flyers and our few dinosaurs. And another Dinosaur Stampede. All right. Starting to look similar to another deck I've drafted. But that's okay. I mean, if you can replicate your results, by all means, go for it. Crushing Canopy. Don't want to play against that. Sacrament. You can consider the Kinjali's color. We just don't have much that works with it. Raptor Companion and Hammer Skull, but they're already cheap. Rile it up. Come on, let's open Huatli. We could use some poetry in this deck. Doesn't have enough flavor otherwise. Vampire Stampede. Dinosaur Stampede with so few dinosaurs at all. It's just vampires and pirates. Even though we're in a dinosaur color combination. Speaking of dinosaurs, we can pick up Sky Terror. Would be perfect for this deck, and I wasn't so high on Settle the Wreckage. It might be better than I give it credit for. And if no one else is in white-red, Sky Terror could wheel. Not likely on this table. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's really a stretch to wheel that, but it could happen. I'll go with Settle, though. It has proven to be a powerful spell when it works. Steadfast Armasaur, good body. Kind of doesn't look like great stats, but with both abilities tacked on there, pretty hard to attack into or even block. I'll go with the Armasaur here over Frenzied Raptor. I have been impressed with this. You need to give it flying or some kind of evasion or have removal to back it up. But Dinosaur Stampede is a good reason to play it. Ooh, Binding, perfect. We needed some solid removal. It deals with anything. Sometimes an opponent plays 3 copies of a card and it can really stop them from getting a ton of value. Next up, we've got options. Stormfleet Arsonist, and then some 2-drops. The Tillinolly's Knight, usually great. Now we have 2 dinosaurs, which is a fairly handy number. Something like the Arsonist could wheel. Then there's Shining Aerosaur and Skyblade. I'm going to go with this Tillinolly's Knight. These decks really take advantage of just going wide and making a lot of creatures, especially since we have Dinosaur Stampede. So that's another good reason. Well, we could take our 3rd Dinosaur Stampede. But I think it's better here to take another card that can help go wide in the Paladin, and possibly even use Makeshift Munitions since we have so many cards like this. Wow, 3rd Paladin of the Bloodstained. I'll happily pick that up here. Splashing Black's too hard, but this is the kind of card we want, Call to the Feast. I'll take this Paladin. Wow. Star of Extinction. That's another card that'll really settle your your opponent's board. And I do like the idea of taking it here, but I also want to just kill our opponent before we get to 7 mana. We've got so much else going for us. that I might pass that here for something much worse, like a Fire Shrine Keeper, just to keep that pressure on from the start of the game. Yeah, it's weird, but you're just trying to take the cards that'll give you the highest win percentage, and given what we have, I think that's it. Pyromancer, pretty easy there. Goblin, only card in our colors. And another more expensive, but somewhat better some of the time, Bright Reprisal over Settle the Wreckage. Or Legion's Judgment, because we don't have access to that effect yet. Yeah, I'll go for that. It's a card I don't mind leaving in the sideboard. Dual Shot. Dual Shot could help out a lot, it'd be good against us, but I like this Skyblade a bit more. The little Hound is fine. If we ever got to 8 mana, then going wide is good with it. But it's just so much easier to get in damage with the Skyblade versus 2/2s. 25. I think we cut a lot of the dirtily spells. And yeah, I will play Makeshift Munitions here. Settle the Wreckage is a total, a total tiebreaker if you're racing. They come in with 10 damage and they're like, yep, why didn't you leave anything to block with? Well, this is why. Lose all your creatures. Have fun with those extra lands. Ooh, Fire Cannon. It's worth considering the Fire Cannon, but it's a card that it does good when you're even and it does good when you're ahead, but it doesn't do much when you're behind. In fact, you just might not have enough resources. So this is it's really a late game card for an aggressive deck, which is kind of a weird combination. And I would rather play Makeshift Munitions as that card in this deck. Or Dinosaur Stampede. So it fills a similar role. But, we could put it in for Settle the Wreckage or something. That would be reasonable. Separately. Whoops. Doing all kinds of sorting here. Yeah, just an 8/8 deck. As we have early red creatures and early white creatures. So these are all our red and white 1 and 2 drops. Legion Conquistador, we didn't get a second one of these. And that's pretty lame on its own, I would say. Maybe we put the Fire Cannon in for the Conquistador. Oops. Or we could even play this Legion's Judgment. Yeah, it's better than I give it credit for. Because the way we lose is to bump into creatures that we can't trade with. And a lot of the creatures we won't be able to trade with are dealt with by Legion's Judgment. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so red-white Trumpet Blasts. 16 land, let's try it out. Alright, opponent in round 1 starts down to 6. But this is a nice looking hand. We've got our turn 3 attack for 3 with the Knight, and they scry to the bottom. Blue, what could it mean? It could mean Merfolk, Pirates, who knows. Could mean stuck on 1 mana, which is great for us. Yeah, good luck. Good luck, have fun, as they say. This might be the concession point. They're just a little too far behind here. They want to make sure that we have a reasonable draw too, because if we both have unreasonable draws, you can have quite a nice game of Magic. But we had a reasonable draw and they didn't, so wasn't as good of a game of Magic. Anyway, blue, we just have the other reason for them to concede there. They just hide what they have completely, which means our main deck build is more or less the best we can do. Blue, less likely that Judgment is good, but who knows. Even Merfolk pump their creatures. Wow, now it's our turn. Now it's our turn to decide. Any land in the first 2 turns is good. In fact, if this was like a red 2-drop and a red land, and we could play out the Fire Shrine Keeper, then it would be pretty great. But it's not even a pirate, so the Cutlass doesn't, you know, that's going to take a long time to equip, and we'd have to draw a pirate. I think we mulligan this, especially since our opponent mulliganed, but it might be close there. We'll both keep this. And we'll scry this unneeded land to the bottom. In some ways, this hand looks worse than our opening hand, because that hand would have been amazing if we just drew land, land, land. A little too risky, though. So it is some kind of merfolk build, or maybe a Bant Explore deck. No targets for the Judgment. And our Skyblade does the best just by staying back, despite us being the aggressive deck. We're not so aggressive in the face of a Wild Growth Walker. The good news is they don't appear to have any Explore yet. Or if they did, they wanted to hold up something else before the attacks. Oh, Chart a Course. Okay. Could have finished off the Keeper there. But instead, we'll threaten to trade with their, or to kill their Wild Growth Walker here. Not sure what this could be, but it's more and more likely that they're going to throw down some Explore creature. Marauding Looter, what a strange little brew here. Teamer Pirates. Discarding an excess forest. All good, all good. We have stuff we can do. We'll give them another turn with their Looter. We could have judged it. But then again, they might play a 6/6 trample here, and we'd rather save our removal for that. No attacks, and that means likely no tricks. It also means likely a flash creature here. 3/3 flyer, 4/4 blocker. Something of that sort. 6. They could also have 7 drops in their hand, which would be difficult to deal with. Let's see. Attacking with everything could be okay. I think we're better off just killing this and playing a Sky Marcher and seeing what nonsense they play. Yeah, the flyer. So if they attack with the flyer, that would hit us for 3, but then we hit for at least 2 on the crackback. Possibly more with this Stampede of ours. More pirate treasure. Huh, settle the wreckage. Let's... Ooh, I don't know about this. We need 1 more mana to really make this all worth it. So let's just get in 2 damage where we can. Could use Settle the Wreckage on ourselves to draw the lands we need. But it might be time to fire it off on our opponent here. Let's see, they come in just with Wind Strider. Both of those coming in. See if they have a trick here. Now, the worst thing for us is they pass and they have a counter spell. But even then, we would trade our Armasaur for the Prosperous Pirates, assuming they order it in that way. Okay, here goes nothing. Let's get him. They already have enough lands that getting the lands into play doesn't help them. However, thinning their deck does help them. It just improves the quality of their next draws. They get a couple islands, so it might just be the single splash there. But now we can kind of just come in, even if they have another flash flyer. This attack makes some kind of sense, at least. The worst thing for us here is if they double blocked the Armasaur and had a trick. Oh, I wonder what this is all about. Why would they block with Wild Growth Walker and not the Keeper? Did they forget about Steadfast Armasaur? I doubt they did. Right, so I'm just going to pass priority. See if they have... Let them make the first move. Yeah, we can even use makeshift munitions to finish it off. But I'm happy enough just passing here. And again, that's just trying to finish off because they could save it with a trick and then trade with whatever we sacrificed. Sailor of Means. That was one scary block. I'm not sure what that was, really. They could have had a bounce spell, a trick, or it could have just not crossed their mind. I'm not sure. Must have something to think about. Okay, land is good. Land lets us do multiple things here. They have no flying blockers. The Armasaur attack is still solid. And now we can safely hit a blocker with the Armasaur tail and hold up Dinosaur Stampede. So let us let us swing the tail after blocks. So let it take 2 and it's still blocking it, and then take 3 more so they don't have a pump spell in response here. That's kind of cute, right? The seldom used end of combat. So yeah, now the pump spell wouldn't kill our Armasaur if they had it, but I'm not sure what they have really. Hopefully not an explore creature on top, because that does make things more difficult. There he is, Mr. Colossal Dreadmaw. Not a reaching dinosaur, just a regular old toothed dinosaur. This kills him. This attack can definitely kill them. Well, shoot. So what happens here? We kill the Dreadmaw. Won't give this thing trample. I think they just block with the Keeper there anyway. Yeah, let's make this attack. Why not? Why not? We do double Stampede. 8, 9, 10. That gets 10 damage in just about no matter what. And if they have Bounce, they might spend it on our Armasaur. No blocks at all. Wonder if they have their own Settle the Wreckage. Counter this. Run aground is fine, because they kind of have to kill us this next turn. We get them to 4. And they're like, whoa. Let's see, we'd need 2 more mana to kill them without the help of our stuff. Without the help of our Unfriendly Fire, we play another creature, sacrifice all 4 creatures. Okay, we'll take a hit of 6. If they explore here, we're in trouble. But even then, we could win. Let's just do it this way. See if they let us put them at 2. They could kill us with the Keeper next turn. So we have to be really careful here. What is this? This is going to be Run Aground. See if we can't just kill them. And then if this doesn't kill them, we can maybe sacrifice the Skyblade. Nice. Unfriendly Fire. Yeah, it is at its best when it wins you the game. Round 2 versus Power Man 5000. This guy gets it. We will keep. And yeah, that's a little weird question between whether to play out our Firebrand or the Knight first. So the upside of the Firebrand trades with 3 toughness or kills 3 toughness things next turn no matter what. We could draw a Cutlass and get in a lot more damage. The upside of the Knight is we could draw a Dinosaur. Now we have 1 Dinosaur and 1 Cutlass, so it's pretty close between the 2. But if we're going to draw a Cutlass, we probably want to play the Knight next turn anyway, so yeah, I've convinced myself. It was going to be the Firebrand, but I think the Knight is slightly higher. Give us that, 0.1% bonus here. Wouldn't have mattered. Didn't matter. Never mattered. I also don't want to trade our Knight with this thing when we could get our Dinosaur into play next turn. It's unclear that we even want to do that, but they're happy to get their raid trigger here. And I'm happy enough to not give them a treasure. This guy's pretty annoying to play around. Wow, it was the very next card that would have let us attack in for 3 last turn. It could still be the right play here, but actually with the Armasaur. Right now it's fine to just keep developing our board and get in not all of our potential damage, but some of it. They have their own Cutlass. So that's, yeah, I guess that goes on the Spy here to trade with our Armasaur if we block with it. See what we can do about this. So we attack with both of these. That's free. And then I would love to leave up the 2 mana to block with the Armasaur. And I would love to play Territorial Hammerskull, and I would love to use all our mana this turn. So what's it going to be? It looks like the Hammerskull is our best bet. That'll let us make the biggest attack next turn. The Paladin is close, but doesn't quite get there. Yeah, take another hit here. This is my observation about the format. If you both have good draws, you're just not going to ever block. Neither of you blocks, so you just lose life every single turn, and so does your opponent. Those are just the styles of decks you come across here. Okay, but land was a great draw. We might as well play that out first. We can come in here with part of the team. We might not even want to attack with the Hammerskull. But actually, if we attack with the Hammerskull, we can attack with everything. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hopefully they don't have too much else going on there. Yeah, we can just attack with everything here. Let's tap down one of the Hoarders. And they're happy to just make this block. I wanted to attack with the Firebrand finally, so they don't have an easy double block on our Hammerskull, but I guess they figure they're going to kill us next turn. And they might. They might just. But we'll try to slow them down a bit. Now, going to their face doesn't get them low enough to really matter here, but it could matter to kill this as long as they don't have Dive Down or Skullduggery or something. They do have it. They do have Dive Down. Still, they got a Dive Down out of their hand. And while we take it to at most 7, we could also take a little bit more, which we do. Now I'm worried about run aground and cards that make it likely we die next turn. What did they do? They re-equipped to the Stormfleet Spy. That's all fine. And they should be dead here, but they have 2 mana up. And if it's Skullduggery, they're not dead. No, they still would be dead, wouldn't they? The 2 mana bounce spell's pretty good here. Well, we'll have to go for it. We attack all out, and we tap down. Okay, they figure it doesn't matter what we tap down. Oh, treasure map, okay. Thanks for showing us. That might have been unintentional. Sometimes you go to draw a card, and I don't know. These buttons move around, I'll say that much. Okay, so treasure map. They're showing that, so we can bring in our Demolish. Thank you. Should bring in our Demolish just for the Cutlass, really. One of the bombs of the format. Elaborate Fire Cannon looks good. In fact, I almost want to play that over Settle the Wreckage. It gives us reach in a lot of ways. Then again, the Wreckage exiles like what? It exiles those guys that make treasure, and it can kill 3 toughness creatures if ever they get stuff on them. I don't know, it's tough. We're gonna have more cards since we're on the draw, so I guess the Fire Cannon would be fine to try out here. And if they have the problem of drawing too many lands, I don't want to help thin their deck. Okay, so we both like our hand. We We've got our sick 1-drop and our binding for their treasure map. It'd be something to bind their hoarder because we know they have multiples. Just get this creature into play. Fire Cannon, you can consider this kind of a 6-drop. If you ever have extra 2 mana, it makes it a bit cheaper, but it's pretty much a 6-drop. Oh boy. I'm going to make a quick attack here with the Fire Shrine Keeper. It is a bluff, in the sense that they'd probably be happy to trade the Hoarder with it, and we don't have a pump spell, but they don't bite. I mean, it's too bad for them if we do have Sure Strike or Vampire Zeal, or even any number of cards that could get it done here. Alright, what is it this turn? Don't untap when it's already untapped. We could sacrifice the cannon to feed this cannon. It's pretty silly. We might just sacrifice this cannon to feed this cannon by discarding it. Give them a treasure here. The problem with this attack is if they have just a 5 mana, okay, they don't, the 5 mana flash thing, but we didn't see that game 1. There we go, Deadeye Plunders. Oh, it's so good. Not gonna spend the mana on it this turn, so it doesn't really make sense to untap it, but it definitely makes sense to, ooh, we have to be real careful here. What am I doing? Undo. We have to be real careful, because if we just shoot out Legion's Judgment, they can sack their treasure. They don't even have to spend a card on it. And they do have that extra blue for dive down. So why don't we just attack with both here and then play a creature or 2. Okay, they're happy to just keep diving in the air. And not playing any more cards. Discard a card? No. Again, that looks a bit weak, but this turn looks great. Let's just attack out. There are bounce spells and things that make this worse, but they don't have their own, you know, total board wipe like Settle the Wreckage. And even that would be fine here. We could use the extra lands. Then let's Stampede in. If they counter it, it's not the end of the world. And if they don't counter it, it might be the end of their world. Dive down there. Well, let's think. That'll make it 7. So we could sacrifice a creature to hit it. Better yet, we should sacrifice the Paladin to do 1 more damage to them. Because that'll still not be enough. Yeah. Oh, we can't. Makeshift Munitions is in our hand, not in play. So what was I thinking? I just thought it was in play. Alright, there are things way too big. Got it. And they're also at 3 life, so if we draw a land, they're dead to our Makeshift Munitions. Heck, they're dead to our elaborate Fire Cannon, nearly. Okay. I think we discard a card with Legion's Judgment. Or rather, we discard Legion's Judgment. You know what I mean. We're gonna discard something. Yeah, okay, so they've figured it out, and they figure they can't beat this, but we had options, so it's worth thinking through what's the safest path to victory, given what colors they have, and so forth. Anyway, on to the finals. Versus Ego October, or this is, sorry, his brother Id October. But we'll keep this hand. If we draw red immediately, that'd be the best, but if we don't, I'm sure we'll draw it eventually, and we've got some of our best cards we can play on 3 and 4. Green to begin with. Well, that's a red card, but it's not what I meant. Wild Growth Walker in green-red. There we are. Nice. Firebrand, which does pressure the walker as long as it doesn't explore immediately, which it might. We did beat a deck that had a Wild Growth Walker that didn't like exploring. That's similar to exploring here in that we don't get to attack past it. They might be worried about a trick here and they don't want to lose our walker. That means they probably have an explore card in their hand. Otherwise, they're probably happy to block. The most damage here is going to come from our Hammer Skull. Just about no matter what they have. But these hits, I mean, the early hits in the aggro decks really add up, and it's really what makes this format tough and fast. But each hit is more than negated by the 3 life you'll gain off of Wild Growth Walker here, so it's like, you know, an uphill battle for sure. All right, you've got 6 coming in, and this is a race we can't win. I figure they're not going to block anyway, not with our Hammer Skull in play. And we might not be able to win it, but we're going to try. We're going to try to win it. Discarding Thematic Compass, not discarding, but scrying it to their graveyard, rather, exploring it to their graveyard. And that could be just they don't have the land drop. It helps them get it, but it's really a better play on 5 mana when you can draw land right away. Oh dear. This is Jund Explore, which makes sense. Every color has Explore, but you really want to be focused on black-green because it has the cards like Wild Growth Walker and Chupacabra. Oh geez, yeah, I'll take 4 here. They know that we'd be happy to trade our Paladin off, but I don't want to trade it off. It's not what I want. Now they come at our Hammer Skull. That's more or less fine. Maybe we just have to hold back. We just hold back everything. Yeah, let's come in with our Paladin of the Bloodstained. It trades with an Ixalan's Keeper, or nothing even, but it's not something we're too likely to block with. I don't know, maybe we could double up on the block. But we could do that now. Let's see what they come in with. Wild Growth Walker coming in. We've got to get a little greedy here. This kills 2 creatures for 1, or 3 creatures for 1. I just hope they don't have the spell to finish this, and they do, so we lose 3 for 1, I guess. 2 vampire tokens kind of equals 1 card. looking great. Hey, at least we blocked and didn't take 4 damage. Yeah, if we're on the play and we get a start that can get some damage in early, it's going to be much better for us. But this is just the dedicated Explore deck with full payoffs. Yeah, I mean, not a terrible deal for them. There we are. That's just what we needed. That could turn the tide of this game. We could even get their New Horizons, but I think I'll go for the Walker. It's even one they may have multiples of in their deck. And they just draw only 3 lands, which is all they'll need for the game. We could get into there, but I don't mind trading our Hammer Skull for their Interloper if they let us, which I doubt they will. Stampede. Now what does that do? It lets us attack with both. Kind of. Get to untap our Lightning Rig crew. No, we don't get to tap it in the first place. Yeah, I'm playing a bit sloppy because there's just so little chance we win anyway, which is a good reason to tighten your game up in case you have the slightest chance of winning. You need to play perfectly, but we're just all kinds of dead here without any flying blockers. We could have left back the Fire Shrine Keeper to trade for their Interloper instead of just losing a 2/2. But yeah, a lot of hard stuff to deal with there. Okay, let's keep going with this build. Too much of their stuff is big enough that the slash doesn't deal with it. We will play first. This time a very red heavy hand without much to do in red. And their deck is just so good against a slow draw from our aggressive deck. Yeah, let's mulligan. If this was in the dark, I might have kept that, but we know our opponent's gonna win that mid-late game. So yeah, this hand is maybe a bit better depending on what we draw. I think if we keep and scry, it might help us find an early play. And this is a pretty good early play unless they play anything. But if we get 2 hits in with the Raptor Companion, it has done its job, and so we do. What's better here? Oh, that's weird, but I think the Cutlass is better here. Because next turn we get to go Knight, Equip, and then the next turn possibly a Pyromancer. Yeah, use your Compass. That's what I want. Oh, I hope they don't kill our poor Raptor. They don't! Best mulligan ever. So they're just going to happily find a land, or not so happily, considering how much damage they're taking here. Yep. Compass looking for something, looking for answers. Searching for Orazka. It's made of gold. Third color appears here. That's what they searched for after all. And some random explore creature. Fine with me. So what do they hit off that? They get another mountain. And we have a dinosaur. So our attacks look decent. The problem is our raptor companion just trades into the buccaneers. Well, how does this work out? If we attack with both, they definitely go to 9, and then they definitely go to 7. From the Pyromancer. And then we're attacking for 7 the next turn. But if we attack with the Tillinolli's Knight, they almost definitely go to 9. And then they lose their Buccaneers, so next turn we have 3 attackers. I think I like that better. Which doesn't let us equip the Pirate's Cutlass this turn. But it also keeps our Raptor Companion alive this turn, so next turn we'll get the trigger off of it once more. Goodbye, Buccaneers. So they are well and truly on the back foot. Facing down more than lethal, but they just have to block 1 creature here. And it can be any 1 creature as it stands. Not quite to flipping the compass. And they spent a lot of time and mana on that compass. So here we have Contract Killing. Come on, any damage? That's not the damage we needed. We have to be slightly mindful of what they could have with these treasures. But they don't even get to flip the spires next turn. And we can remove the Cutlass to give us 3 lethal creatures. And I think that should do it for this game. We got a bit lucky to get under them. Oh no. I don't want to see them continue the game here because that gets annoying. They're just going to have another Explore creature, which kills our flyer. And it does force them to lose both. And we keep our Tillinolli's Knight. The problem is they flip Thematic Compass next turn. Oh, you know what we could have done here? We could have, yeah, this is a good block for them. We could have equipped the Cutlass to the Pyromancer, and then they trade by blocking with both, and we kill both, and we still save a creature. This is kind of the same thing. But it forces them to block with 1 on each, instead of letting them chump block. Like if their Lurking Chupacabra lives, and they have like 2 Explore creatures, then we're in bad shape. And they do have their 7th land. So here comes Mazavith and Raging Swordtooth for some reason. And we have to draw damage off the top. At just about any point, really. Until they get their life gain. Drawn lands off the top still. And they're putting us on a clock, so we don't have forever to draw our burn. That is not it. I don't mind making them use the spires because it does untap our creature. Like, just more clicks on their part. Even though it just gives them more options, like, we're not in great shape no matter what. Don't play another menace creature, please. Another Chupacabra. So double Chupacabra. This is really a solid deck they have. And I'll make the same play as last turn. If they block it and lose their creature, that's great. If they don't, that's okay too. So we might have one more turn here to get what we need. Hold your breath. I am holding my breath. Everyone says they're not holding their breath. Well, I am holding my breath. Not literally. Uh-oh. Come on. Alright. Let's calculate the odds. Alright, never mind. Let's just draw. Let us draw. Come on. No, don't lightning strike us. Drum roll. That's what they're doing. We're two people playing Magic Online worlds apart, and we get it. We got it. Of course, who knows? But that's like the only card in our deck that does it. Oh well. It's only because they waited. If they didn't wait, it would have just been some random card that doesn't do anything. You know, we bring in here Tocatli Honor Guard big time because they don't explore. Something something Armasaur. Alright, and they have big enough stuff for Settle the Wreckage. Nothing of theirs dies to Fire Cannon except them. But, take out one Paladin of the Bloodstained. That's a bit weird. But the Paladin's a lot worse when we have the Honor Guard in. Not that much worse, but certainly worse. Oh, come on. This Tocatli Honor Guard's going to win us the match if we ever draw it. Hand is good. They're mulliganing down to 6. And that is bad because most of their action starts at 4 mana. Unless they get their little 2-drop green elemental. Oops. Can't play a mountain with a mountain. No. Okay. That's not so bad. That is not as bad as it could be. Because for right now, we still have our Menace that attacks past it. And they don't want the Seeker's Squire. Even though they can cast it. I wonder why that is. That's a strange one. It's going to take years before this Firebrand can attack. So why don't we just play another evasive creature? Guaranteed damage next turn, but the Firebrand is not guaranteed damage next turn. We're just going to play our Hammer Skull. Yeah, in that case it's guaranteed damage in 2 turns. But yeah, now we just can't even get in there. So they probably had New Horizons in hand and are digging for land there, which all kind of makes sense. Okay. Pretty even board at the moment. This is a bluff attack, if I've ever seen one, but at the same time, I'd rather take 2 damage when they're on the back foot. I assume they're on the back foot. Alright, they're not on the back foot. Definitely not on the back foot. And it wasn't a bluff attack. They were just going to kill our Hammer Skull if we blocked. So, we did that right, I guess. I guess we did that part right. I still say the only way we're going to win this game is by getting them to 0 faster than they can build up, even though we're going to die in 3 turns, if not less. So we'll take 7. And they have the Wild Growth Walker. No more Explore, please. No. they've got their magic number of mana here, so it's just going to be all explore for the rest of the game. What a deck. I like it. I have not seen this version of an explore deck yet in all of my drafts. Certainly not one this powerful. So the Pyromancer kills nothing. It doesn't kill them. We are strictly on defense here, and equip there. Looks good. So what do we take here? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're taking 7 damage here and trying to trade with the big guy. Didn't think that through too closely, but it seems to be right. Oh dear. Well, I see why they're splashing red. This guy clears up any vampire deck, and it's actually great apparently if you're attacking in with high toughness creatures that just ping your opponent's creatures and then this finishes them off. Oh, that was kind of cool to see, but yeah, I will concede to the better deck here, and that's all right. It's always nice to make it to the finals in these. Anyway, thanks for watching and good luck in your drafts.